So guys, there is a lot of advantages of the automation testing. So before digging into that, to discuss about these advantages, I want to give you guys one example. So let me open my Excel sheet. So for example, guys, let's discuss about the Amazon.com. So Amazon have a different functionalities. Like Amazon have a sign in functionality, and Amazon have a forgot password functionality. Amazon have a search functionality. Amazon have a Prime functionality. Amazon have a sign up functionality. Okay, so let's assume, guys, these are the different functionalities are available into the, sorry, these are the different functionalities, let's assume, are on the application. So if you guys remember that, like if you have to write the test cases on that, like for example, there is a different test scenarios for each functionality of the application. For example, sign in feature have 10 test cases, forgot password have 20 test cases, search functionality have 50 test cases, Prime have a 30 test cases, sign up have, for example, like uh, 60 test cases as example. Okay, so for example, guys, these are the different test cases that you have to execute for all of these functionalities. And you remember when we were discussing about the regression testing, so what we had seen, what is regression testing is, regression testing is like during regression testing we have to make sure that while developing the new feature of the application, so developers will not broke, or the new coding will not affect to the previous functionalities. So for example, guys, you are already in a middle of project. What I mean the middle of the project, like you guys already developed half of the functionalities, and on the remaining half of the functionalities, the developers are working. For example, sign in, forgot password, search, Prime, sign up. So these are the some functionalities that are already developed by the developers. Okay. So now the developers are working into a new functionalities, and you guys are testing those functionalities. But according to the regression testing, before we can send the new code to the production, or we can hand over the new functionalities to the customers, what we have to do, we have to retest all these function one more time, just to make sure that new coding will not affect the functionalities of these functionalities. So these functionalities are still working fine. So we have to run all these test cases, we have to execute all these test cases one more time again, to make sure that all the functionalities are working fine. Is that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's mean that if I can add here all these test cases, so we can say that 10 plus 20 30, 30 plus 50 80, 80 plus 30 110, 110 plus 60, it is around 170 test cases are there. The total test cases are 170 test cases are there, that you guys have to execute and to make sure that all the functionalities are working fine. Okay, let's move a little bit more forward. You guys know that nowadays there are multiple browsers are in a market, right? Like for example, there is a Chrome, there is a Firefox, and nowadays there is a Edge. Okay, let's assume these three browsers are there, your application is supporting. So it's mean that we have to make sure that all the functionalities are working fine in all these three browsers. There should be no issue. So sometimes what happen, guys, this is normally we had seen during the testing, that one thing is working fine, there will be no issue in one browser, but sometimes there is some design issue or something, some functionality is not working in another browser. So what we have to do to make sure that our application is working fine in all these three browsers, so we have to check all the functionalities of that specific application in all the browser. So it's mean that, guys, like these 170 test cases, first we have to execute in a Chrome, then we have to execute in a Firefox, and then we have to execute in a Edge. So these three test cases, these are the three main browsers. So these 170 test cases you have to execute um, three times to achieve your goal, to make sure that the quality of the product is perfectly fine or working. Okay, so when I add and I can multiply 3, can anybody help me in this? What will the result? uh, 510. So it's mean guys, like guys have to execute 510 test cases just to make sure that all your previous functionalities are working fine or not. Okay, and you guys are working in agile environment, and in the agile environment you guys have only 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks you guys have to test the new functionalities, and at the end you have to execute these 500 test cases. So normally, if I can give you the practical example to perform the regression testing, hardly you have 2 days to perform the regression testing, even less than 2 days. So now you guys tell me honestly, is that possible to execute 510 test cases in just 2 days?
It's almost impossible.
Gonna be hard.
What about others?
I think it's hard, and that's why automation is important. I believe when we test one time and write the codes, then for the regression we should not write the codes again. We just run it again to see if it's working or not. Correct?
Yes, when we automate, that is the benefit.
Yeah.
Definitely. So guys, like it is not possible to run all the 510 test cases to achieve our goal and achieve our result. So this is the one major reason guys, like all the companies want to automate all the functionalities that is one time tested by manually and the bugs are fixed. No, it's a like what I can say, they therefore they need automation to automate all these 510 test cases. So whenever the company need to run it, we can easily run in all these three browsers. So that work that is not possible in 2 days, with the help of the automation, in within 20 to 30 minutes it will check everything for you, and it will tell you which thing is working and which thing is not working. So this is the one of the major advantage and reason why all the companies are asking for the automation testing nowadays. Okay, any question guys up to here? Okay, so all other advantages guys are related to this, like for example I written here, it helps us in reducing the time. I already told you that how it is affecting, it reduces the efforts. Definitely, if the companies have to complete this work in within a time frame, then definitely they need more workforce. So therefore they may need more team members to hire as a tester. So it reduces that thing as well. It increases the productivity. So, and productivity mean like every time whatever you feed or instruction given to your software, it is checking according to that. So there is very less chance of mistake. And in this way we already executing all the test cases that we need. So it's mean that we are giving a good productivity or good work. Then predictability, so this reliability, this also are related to the same thing that I explained. So this is the how the automation is important guys.